In this video, I will discuss Spring cache evict annotation. Spring provides cacheable annotation to add value in cache, and Spring provides cache evict annotation to evict cache. Using cacheable annotation, we can add cache the response of that method. Suppose this is a method and it has a parameter empid. When we pass a parameter, the response for that parameter is cached. If we change the value for the parameter, then it will be cached for that parameter. So for the different value of the parameter, values will be cached. And in the opposite, if we want to evict the cache, we need to use cache evict. Look into my code. What I am doing here is I have two methods, getImply and setImply. I am passing the empid. Look at this method class. When I call getImply and passing the empid 1, this method will execute and the response will be cached for the empid 1. If this method executes, then we will see this message. I am printing it out. And if you don't see this message, it means this method is not executed. So what will happen that first time when I call the getImply passing the parameter id1, that method will execute. And if I call a second time again by passing the same value for the parameter, because the response of the method has been cached, so method will not execute. Okay, I can show you this. Look, for the first time calling getImply and I am getting the response, but for the second time I am getting the cached response and this message is not printing. So it means the response has been cached for the id1. If I change the id, suppose I am changing the id and passing the parameter 2, then what will happen that the response for the 2 has not been cached yet, so the method will execute. Look, for the first time for the parameter id1, method executed, then for the second time we get the cached response. Now we change the parameter empid and again the method is executed and the response will be cached again for that parameter. What I am doing, again I am calling 1, as we know that for the empid 1 response has been cached, so method will not execute, and for the empid 2 response is also cached, so again for these two method will not execute and we will get the cached response. Let's see. Okay, till this point it is for when we call the getImply 2. Then when we call 1 and then again 2, we get the cached response and this message is not being printed. It means method is not executing. Okay, till now it was about cacheable. Now let's see what is cache evict. I have a method setImply. What I am doing here is when I call the setImply and that time it will evict the cache for the value emp. Cache has been added respective to the empid. So if I call the set imply for empid1, then cache will be evicted only for the empid1, and for the and for the empid2 cache is still there. But if you want that whenever I call the set imply and all the cache, all the entries in the cache is evicted, in that case all entries must be true. We will see this. First let's see that whenever we call the set imply, the cache will be evicted for not all entries, only for the empid we are passing. I am calling set imply, okay, and then again I am calling the get imply 1. This time when we call this line, cache has been evicted for the empid1, so the get imply method will execute. This point is when we call the set imply here. Then I am calling get imply 1. We can see that get imply method is executed. Now as I have told you that all entries has not been evicted, so when I call get imply for the empid2, we will get the cached response. Look here, we get the only response and this message has not been printed. It means we get the cached response. Okay, but if we do all entries as true, in that case what will happen that I am calling set imply for empid1, but this will also delete all the cache and we will get our cache for the empid2 will also be evicted. Look, after set imply, if I am calling the get imply for empid1, executed, get imply is executed, and for empid2 executed. So in this way we can evict the cache and we can use all entries, whether we want to evict all entries or we want to evict only parameter value wise. Okay, thank you.